Hi everyone, welcome to my channel TechHub Blog. Today we are going to discuss exception in Python. So let us first see what is an exception. An exception is an incident that happens while executing a program that causes a regular course of the program's commands to be disrupted. When a Python code comes across a condition it can't handle, it raises an exception. So it's a kind of condition which a Python cannot handle, and at that time it raises an exception. An object in Python describes an error is called an exception. When a program code throws an exception, it has two options: handle the exception immediately or stop and quit. So these are the two methods by which the exception can be handled. We catch exceptions and handle them using try and except code blocks. So we can handle the exception using try and except blocks. The try clause contains the code that can raise an exception, while the except clause contains the code lines that handle the exception. Okay, so let's understand through one example. Let me go to the Visual Studio Code. Yeah, so here we have a string array which has values Python exception try and except, and inside the try we have a for loop. So it will range from 0 to 3, and it will print this statement, and if there is an exception then it will print index out of range. So for I in range, when the value of I is 0, so it will print the index and element from the array is 0, and here it will print the index, that is Python. When value of I is 1, so it will print the index and element from the array is 1, and A of 1 is exceptions. When the value of I is 2, so it will print the index and array of the element is 2, and A2 is try and except. Okay. So when the value of I is 3, it will inside and it will print the index and element of the array is 3, but there is no AI. That means there is no A3. A3 means this is 0 index, this is 1 index, 2 index, and this is 3 index. There is no index, so this at this time it will throw an exception and it will print index out of range. So that should be the output. Let us try to run this code. So here you can see, just we have discussed, these are the outputs, and fourth output is index out of range. Let's understand through some more examples how to raise an exception. If a condition does not meet our criteria but is correct according to Python interpreter, we can internally raise an exception. Using the raise keyword, we can use customized exception in conjunction with the statement. So we can raise our own exceptions also if we think that the certain condition does not met, but it is good according to the syntax and interpreter. For example, let's understand through this one. Here we have num array that has values 3, 4, 5, 7. If len of num is greater than 3, so the len of num is 4. So in that case, len of num is greater than 3. That is correct. So it will raise exception. It will give length of the given list must be less than or equal to 3, but is len of num, but is 4. So here we are just raising an exception just to see if how we can raise an exception. This is just an example. Let's try to run this in Visual Studio Code. Let me clear the screen. Okay. So here you can see we have get an exception. Length of the given list must be less than or equal to 3, but it is 4. Okay. So let's try to understand with some more examples and try with the else clause. We define this as try, except, and then else clause. Python also supports a else clause which should come after every except clause. In the try and except blocks, only when the try clause fails to throw an exception, the Python interpreter goes to the else block. So in case if the exception is not thrown in the try and except, then it will go to the else part. Let's try to understand through this example. So here we have defined a function which is def keyword. So def reciprocal num try res inside try we have a resi variable 1 divided by num1 except division 0 error 0 division error. So this is we are except throwing the exception. This is a type of exception, zero division error. Whenever we are dividing any number by zero, so it gives zero division error. So we are just throwing an exception here, which is zero division error. So if it throws zero division error, we cannot divide by zero, it will print. And if there is no zero division error, then it will print resi value of resi, which is whatever the value of resi is here. Now we are calling the reciprocal function by passing the arguments. Okay, let me clear the screen first. Okay, so first reciprocally we are passing 4. 4 will go here to num1 and in receive it will be 1 by 4, that is 0.25. So it will not throw 0 division error. So in that case it will go to the else part and it will print reci, that is 0.25. And the second reciprocal call we are passing 0. So 0 will go to num1 and here it will be 1 by 0. So the condition is satisfied here for try except. So it will throw 0 division error now and it will print we cannot divide by 0. Let's try to run this program. So here you can see first is 0.25, second is we cannot divide by 0. Next is finally keyword. So what is finally keyword? The finally keyword is available in Python and it is always used after the try except block. The finally code always is executed after the try block has terminated normally or after the try block has terminated for some other reason. So the finally block comes after the try and except and it always execute whether the exception is thrown or it is not thrown. Let's try to understand with the example here. Okay, so in the first, let's say div has 4 and this is divided by 0. Now we are printing div value. So it will throw an exception if it is 0 division error and it will print attempting to divide by 0. And finally it will print this is code of finally clause. So here you can see whether the except here the exception is thrown 0 division error but still the finally block is executed. You can see from here. So I hope guys you got the concept of exception handling in Python, and if you have any other doubt or queries please do post in the comment section of my TechHub blog. So here you can find all other materials related to Python. There are different topics. I have created videos for this, and if you have any query or doubt please do post in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Thank you.